Hello, and thank you for watching. What I want to talk to you today about is what can good business management consultancy do for our business. Now, the presentation takes just over 10 minutes, and it consists of 12 slides, which are freely available for you to download, and you can do so from the website. For many of us, when we hear the word consultant, it sends shivers down our spine. We imagine it's going to cost thousands of pounds, and it's going to be run predominantly by organizations such as KPMG, Deloitte, PricewaterhouseCoopers, or a large London-based organization. And the consultants involved are going to be running around in very smart Italian suits, as well they may be. So let's first of all address some of the myths involved with consultancy. Consultancy needn't cost the earth, as we'll discover. It doesn't mean letting go of your business and giving the reins to somebody else. You, as a client, still retain full control. And a consultant, a good consultant, will only ever make a recommendation to you. Many of us think that by employing a consultant, we're losing control. And if we want advice, we'll simply ask a mate. That may work for some, but not for others. So during the next 10 minutes, what I hope to cover with you is what is a business management consultancy? What are the various types of business management consultancy? What are the benefits available? How to access a good qualified business management consultant? What does good look like? And is Intervision a viable, cost-effective alternative? So what is business management consultant? Well, ultimately, it's recommending change. And if you're the person seeking advice, you're regarded as a client, and the person giving the advice, of course, is called a consultant. The best consultants have 3 skills, notably technical skills, personal skills, know, like, trust, and respect, and consultant, and an ability to listen to you, the client, and in doing so, to learn with you. So many of you watching this will probably be consultants yourselves without maybe knowing it. But anybody giving you advice about, for example, marketing, sales, digital, IT, finance, project management, in effect, you're consulting. So the benefits of business management consultancy include, obviously, the recommendation for change. And with that change will come, hopefully, improved profits if you are a private enterprise, commercial enterprise, a competitive advantage, but also you can employ a consultant to do a business audit. For example, if you've been in business for 12 months to say 5 years, there's no harm in asking a business consultant, say, how am I doing? And they come in with a fresh pair of eyes, hopefully objectively, and advise how you're doing. A good management consultant will also help you eliminate waste, duplication, and increase your efficiency. For those of us looking to access business management consultant, there are a number of sources, of course. And in the UK, for example, you might look at the Chartered Management Institute, but they use one of the, I believe they use one of the following slides I'll show you. But another source of consultants is the Institute of Leadership Management. And they offer a very good and effective, simple website where you simply type in your requirement. This perhaps can be improved by going a step further and looking at the Council of Management Consultants, who offer a more comprehensive search engine where you can even search for not only your local consultant, your preferred gender, but also your preferred language and your preferred skill set. For example, if you're looking for financial consultancy, you can type in consultancy. Now, I must caution that some of these websites, some of these similar websites, do charge a subscription, although it's a very good website. For those of us relying upon Google, then just to give an example how challenging this can be, if you're searching, for example, for a business management consultant in West Yorkshire, you're going to be faced with over 3.7 million hits, which is probably too much. Google tend to list businesses in order of merit. And you can see here from the screenshot that there are 3 businesses listed in order of merit, although you might question why the second place business with 41 5-star reviews is not placed above the review, the organization with 29 reviews, 29 5-star reviews. Now, feedback is critical to identifying a good business management consultant, and I'd encourage you to look and interrogate the reviews. For example, are the 5-star reviews that you see listed given by somebody's mum? Not so good, maybe. Are they current? Are they given, for example, in the last 5 years? Or were some of them given 20 years ago and referring to how somebody behaved at school? Not so relevant, not so helpful. Also considering cross-referencing, and there are lots of really good websites that you can look at to verify the authenticity of these reviews. For example, TripAdvisor, Trustpilot, Yell.com, Facebook, and one of my favorites, LinkedIn. And I mention LinkedIn because on LinkedIn, you can actually verify the person giving the review, when the review was given, what it was given for, and in what context. Also, think about where you want your business management consultant to be. Do you want them to be local to you so you can meet them face to face? Or are you quite happy for them to be remote, in which case you can either do business on the phone or online? If you do want to see them face to face, which I suggest, then location is really important to you. And you've got 3 businesses here, 2 of them operating in Leeds, for example, and 1 operating in Huddersfield. Well, if you live in York, for example, you might want somebody closer. Look at the phone numbers, how you're going to contact them. Now, you've got 3 businesses here, and I mean no disrespect, but a critic might say, well, it looks to me the first business is offering a mobile telephone number, maybe they're operating out of their dad's car, and the second 2 are only offering a landline. So maybe they're operating from the mum's spare room. I'm sure they're not, but you need to understand, how are they going to communicate with you? Do they have an email address? And these 3, fortunately, all have websites, which is a good sign. Look at hours of practice. If you want a good business consultant, do you want to contact them 24/7? What's missing from this particular page, and Google just one example, is this doesn't include any details given of professionalism or accreditation, which we'll come on to in a moment. So let's think about what good looks like. And for this, I've compared internal consultants with external consultants. And there are several areas I just want you to consider. First of all, of course, cost, confidentiality, situational awareness of the consultant, time, time it takes for the consultant to be on site, the governance and assurance of the consultant and their behavior, accountability, and lastly, disruption to your business. For example, if a consultant is going to be on your premises for 6 months to a year, that's a huge disruption to you and your business. Now, I'm not going to cover all of these. I just want to cover two. First of all, confidentiality. If you imagine in your business that you've got somebody working, for example, in your HR department, and you say to them, listen, I'd like you to be my internal consultant, and there's some training in for you. Great. But the problem is, and this may not always be the case, but it may be that person has got friends, associates, maybe even partners working elsewhere in the same business. So before you know it, you've got biases, you've got gossip, innuendo, anxiety and stress amongst your workforce, which is not ideal. Compare that to an external consultant, and they are guaranteed to provide confidentiality. And those that are professional will abide by a common code of professional and ethical standards. And if they don't maintain confidentiality, they can either be reported, in which case they can be struck off, or they can be sued. Let's talk then about the governance and assurance. So returning to the example of the employee from your own workplace you've got working for you, if they let you down, then maybe you're not going to give them a very good appraisal in months ahead, or you may even move their desk closer to the washroom in extreme cases. For an external consultant, and the best ones, as I said, will be regulated by a professional code of conduct and affiliated with a national body, then you can report them if they don't produce what you want, and also check that they're insured. And maybe that's a good question to ask them from the outset. Are you insured for third-party liability or public liability, I beg your pardon? So finally, I want to talk about Intervision, which is a technique devised by Monique Bellisen, and she is a Scandinavian lady, lovely lady, and she's regularly providing talks, presentations online. I access her presentation online with the Chartered Management Institute, and she has a very good website, and the diagram where she illustrates Intervision is far sexier than mine. But essentially what we're talking about here is that the business owner or the client advises the consultant of an issue that they have at work, and the consultant will agree with the business owner how best to frame that problem, and they, between them, present the problem to the group, to the team, and that team can be as many members of your team as you wish. The team then, facilitated by the consultant, come up with a solution and timelines, which can be reviewed by either the business owner or the consultant at periodic intervals. The advantage of this method is, first of all, you keep the contact with the business management consultant down to bare minimum, keep costs down, and also it's maximum engagement of your team, which builds levels of trust and transparency. Thank you for listening. If you've got any questions, please drop me a line.